Dear, dear students, in last class, what you discuss, if you discuss for algorithm specification, you just go for now. This is the third topic of your performance analysis. Third topic of your performance analysis. In this, you have declaring for evaluation for two major spaces. One is for priority estimates and posterior testing. Next, you just go for two ways of performance analysis. One is for space complexity. The space complexity of an algorithm is the amount of memory it needs to run to completion. Next point, you just go for fixed part that is independent of the characteristics of the inputs and outputs, a variable part that consists of the space needed by component variables whose size is dependent on the particular problem instance being solved. The space requirement S of P of any algorithm P may therefore be written as a SP equals C plus SP. In this C is the constant. Then based on your particular algorithm, space requirement algorithm, we are declaring for P may be a return of particular method. We are declaring for a particular method. I give you following this algorithm based on a space level example. First one is for algorithm of ABC, A comma B comma C, then return A plus B into C plus A plus B minus C divide A plus B plus 4.0. So I give you one example. Space level means we are declaring a particular dependent whose size of a space will be allocated based on your sizes. You just depend to the particular problem, particular method being you have to solve. So I give you one first algorithm for a, this is the condition you have to giving for a particular space. Then if you're giving a values for a b c, based on a values you have to substitute for a particular values. Next algorithm for second algorithm, sum algorithm. In that sum algorithm, we are declaring for a sum of a comma n, s equal to 0, 0.0, for I equal to 1 to n, do. Then s equal s plus a of I return s. The in between you are declaring for for loop statement. The for loop statement we are declaring for a group of statement. In this statement, initialization, test condition, increment or decrement values you have to follow. Then we are declaring for a particular iteration for a first iteration, second iteration, third iteration. Finally, you will get a value for sum of return yes. So next go for third algorithm for a recursive sum. Recursive sum for or sum process. If the condition you have to giving n less than or equal to 0, then return 0, 0.0, else return recursive sum of a comma n minus 1 plus a of n. Then recursive function for sum. You just go for second type of a performance analysis for time complexity. The time complexity of an algorithm is the amount of computed time it needs to run a completion. The time t of p taken by a program p is the sum of the compile time, for example. Otherwise you are giving for execution time also. So you have to giving for time, based on a time you just execution a particular program. For example, if you're giving for real time example, so no, you just say for online examination, you're allocating a sizes, based on a sizes, based on a timing, you just finishing examination. Otherwise you have to increasing a timing means that examination timing will be closed automatically. This is the process we are declaring for time level. Next you just go for next point, compile time. Compile time does not depend the instance characteristics. Also we may assume that compiled program will be run several times without recompilation. So next go for consequently we concern ourselves with just the runtime of a program. This runtime is denoted by TP. TP you have to declare for particular instance characteristics. Instance means we are declaring for particular method. We could obtain an expression TP of n of the form TP of n, you have to declare a certain arithmetic operation. That's mean if I add, subtract, multiplication, division, we need n denotes for instance characters. What are the instance characters you are declare? You have to declare for CA, CS, CM, CD. These are all different methods. You are declaring in your time complexity. You just go for example for a first algorithm. Say way sum of a comma n. We are declaring a many of counting is there. Finally, you are written yes. Finally, you are written for finally you are written for a counting level. This is the counting you have to follow for a count equal to count plus 1 for I equal to 1 to n, then count equal to count plus 1, then s equal to s plus a of I, then count equal to count plus 1, then count equal to again you have to counting. That's mean you are declaring for iterations. Okay, you have to declare a sum with a count statements will be added. Next record system we are declaring same count equal to count plus 1. If n less than or equal to 0, then count equal to count plus 1, then return 0 0.0, then count equal to count plus 1, return recursive sum of a comma n minus 1 plus a of n. Then Fibonacci series, already you know for Fibonacci series you start with for 0, next 1, then 0 plus 1 equal to 1, then 1 plus 1 equal to 2. So same concept we are declaring for a Fibonacci series. So next go for this is a very important topic in your performance analysis. Following two ways you have methods you have followed. In that first performance analysis, just if you asking me generally time and space complexity. This also you are declaring for certain 5 marks questions. In that time you are declaring for time and space complexity. We are giving one example for you following this algorithm. Next asymptotic notation and its properties. This is a very important topic. If you are asking a 5 marks also 10 marks also. The notations describes orders of growth relations between the defining a functions and define a set of functions. The following notation you have to declare. First one is for big O, big omega, big theta. Yeah, also if you say for many books you just refer one book. If you're giving for little o, little omega, little theta, whatever it is, you have to no need to confuse. You have to following these are all growth big O, omega, theta, otherwise O, omega, theta. If you're asking any type of question, you just follow this definition, this example only. Okay, then consider also if you say for many book T of n, one book if you're giving for f of n, these both are same only. Then g of n and non-negative functions define on a set of natural numbers. First go for big O functions. Big O function we are declaring for a this is the one of the bounded above process, and if you are declaring for upper bound process. So you have to listen. So in this method we are followed by the f of n less than or equal to c g of n condition should be followed big O method. In this f of n also if you say for g of n, then big O of g of n, so bounded above by same constant multiple of g of n. For all, some positive constant for c, but if you're giving for non-negative integer for n naught, then asymptotic level we are declaring for your condition bounded upper bound level. So upper bound level g of n if you are declaring for first level, c into g of n, c is the constant, then f of n. Conditions for your f of n less than or equal to c into g of n. Example, you just say for example we are declaring a conditions for a 2n plus 2. So you have to split it for following this way: lower bound, tight bound, upper bound. But upper bound we are declaring a where it is. If you declare for a big O method only, we have follow for upper bound level. Lower bound level if you are declaring for a big omega. Tight bound level if you are using for big theta. Okay, now I'm using for only for big O only if you're giving for example. So yes, if you're giving for question for f of n equal to 2n plus 2 means if you are split it for a 2n plus 2, lower bound for 2, upper bound also 2, tight bound also 2. If you are giving, so f of n equal to 2n plus 2, g of n equal to n square, then f of n less than or equal to g of n. Conditions, if you are giving a condition, what you are giving for big O method condition, f of n less than or equal to g of n, c is the constants level. So then if you go for f of n equal to 1 means conditions, next 2 of 1 plus 2 equal to 4, then 1 square equal to 1, 4 less than or equal to 1, condition will be false. Otherwise you go for second level, second condition also condition will be false. If you go for in third level, condition will be true, means 8 less than or equal to 9, n equal to 1, n equal to 2, n equal to 3. We are giving for next big omega, big omega level, a function f of n is said to be in omega of g of n. In before conditions, if we are giving f of n said to be in big O level, what you are given, big O of g of n mentioned below. Just if you change this for just omega, but in between conditions for f of n belongs to omega of g of n, but f of n is bounded below is if you're using for big omega, but in big O we are giving for bounded above. Same definition, same thing. But if your conditions for a f of n greater than or equal to c g of n for all n greater than or equal n naught. But if your condition g of n condition is lower bound level, in big O is the upper bound level, the condition diagram will be changed. First you just go for f of n, next you just go for c into g of n. Okay, example same thing, we are declaring 2n square plus 5, yeah, you will get a, then g of n equal to 7n நான் mention பண்ணிக்கிறேன். Why means you are declaring for your lower bound process, but c into n, so n terms we are declaring for a 5 is the constant level, then n equal to something if you're giving for 2, so 5 plus 2 equal to 7, 7 into 7 into n, yeah, conditions for first condition will be true, 7 greater than or equal to 7, true condition will be true. You are once again you have to check for next condition also if the condition is true or false, but next condition is failure, so n equal to 2, the next condition will be failure. Next big theta, a function f of n is said to be in a theta of g of n, f belongs to theta of g of n, same thing, but this condition will be for bounded for both above and below, but omega for below, big O of above, in both the condition will be added for a big theta, big theta, both the condition will be added, in which condition if you added g of n for all, that is same, you have to declare two constants for a c1 and c2, c1 g of n less than or equal f of n, c2 less than or equal g of n. We are declaring for two ways. Why means we are giving for a bounded both above and below. We are declaring for a bounded above and below, but in this condition will be for tight bound process. The condition will be for a tight bound process. We are declaring for a c1 f of n, c2 g of n, then f of n conditions we are declaring for a same thing, we are declaring for a g of n, n c into n, we are declaring for n, so n terms we are declared. Next n equal to 1, n equal to 2, the condition will be for true for 6 less than or equal to 8, less than or equal to 8. Next n not greater than or equal to 2 means the conditions also c1 equal to 3, c2 equal to 4. Okay, if you go for this the asymptotic notation, if your individual problem is come in what all the problem, find out the lower bound and upper bound and tight bound process following the range of function. So in the same way, if you are asking a question for sometime if you are asking for 5 marks or 10 mark question, in that time you have to solving problem. So we are continuing your next class, continue in your next class. Otherwise you just follow means you just follow for this one sum also, one sum also we are declared, but one sum is I will explain in briefly about for next classes. Thank you.